You know the songs. You know the moves. For decades, we've all sung along with the T-Birds and the Pink Ladies. We believed in their summer nights and their happily ever afters. But what happens when the music stops? Decades after leaving Rydell High, the cast of Grease is living shockingly different lives. In this video, we're uncovering the unexpected career changes, the quiet retirements, and remembering the beloved stars we've sadly lost. This is the story of what happened after the credits rolled. We have to start with the magnetic couple at the heart of it all, the greaser king and the girl next door who stole his heart. Their chemistry on screen was legendary, but their real lives would take them down vastly different, and at times, tragic paths. First, the leader of the T-Birds, Danny Zuko, played by the one and only John Travolta. With his slicked back hair and swagger, Travolta's Danny was the definition of cool. Grease launched him from a rising star into a global superstar. He was already a sensation from Saturday Night Fever, and his role as Danny Zuko cemented him as a cultural icon of the 70s. After Grease, Travolta's career was a roller coaster of incredible highs and some serious lows. The 80s brought a string of less successful films, but he staged one of Hollywood's greatest comebacks in 1994 with Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, Pulp Fiction. The role of Vincent Vega didn't just revitalize his career, it earned him an Oscar nomination and reminded the world of his immense talent. Throughout the 90s and 2000s, he was a box office force, starring in hits like Get Shorty, Face Off, and even returning to his musical roots in 2007's Hairspray, charming audiences all over again.
But behind the dazzling success is a story of profound personal tragedy. Travolta was married to actress Kelly Preston for nearly 30 years, and their world was shattered in 2009 with the sudden death of their 16-year-old son, Jet. Then, in 2020, tragedy struck again when Kelly Preston passed away after a private battle with breast cancer. Travolta, once the swaggering king of Rydell High, became a figure of quiet dignity, navigating immense loss in the public eye. While he continues to act, his public focus appears to have shifted. He's a father first and a superstar second, a man whose life has been shaped as much by heartbreak as by fame. And then there was Sandy, the sweet, innocent Sandy Olsen, brought to life with such radiant charm by Olivia Newton-John. Her transformation from a wide-eyed transfer student into a leather-clad force of nature is one of the most iconic moments in movie history. For Olivia, Grease was a launchpad that turned an already successful singer into a global phenomenon. After the film, her music career exploded. The Grease soundtrack became one of the best-selling albums of all time, and she followed it with a string of pop hits. In 1981, she released Physical, a smash hit album and single with a cheeky, exercise-themed music video that became an anthem for the entire decade. While her acting career never quite hit the same heights, with films like Xanadu becoming cult classics, her status as a music legend was set in stone.
However, like her co-star, Olivia's life was also marked by profound challenges that would redefine her legacy. In 1992, she was diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time. This set her on a new path, transforming her from a pop star into a tireless advocate for cancer research and wellness. She faced the disease again in 2013 and 2017. But Olivia refused to be defined by her illness. Instead, she used her platform to bring hope to millions. She established the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Wellness and Research Center in Melbourne, Australia, and in 2020, she founded a foundation to sponsor global research into plant-based medicines for cancer. Tragically, on August 8, 2022, Dame Olivia Newton-John passed away, leaving behind a world that mourned not just an entertainer, but a beacon of hope. Today,
Her legacy isn't just the music or the movies. It's the millions of dollars raised for research, the wellness center bearing her name, and the thriver mentality she championed. Olivia's surprising story is one of turning personal struggle into a global mission, leaving an impact that will far outlast the summer nights of Rydell High.
They were the girls' gang of Rydell High, sassy, savvy, and inseparable. But what happened to the actresses who brought the Pink Ladies to life? Their paths were just as varied and surprising as their on-screen personalities. We start with their tough-talking leader, Betty Rizzo, played with a perfect mix of cynicism and vulnerability by Stockard Channing. At 33, Channing was one of the more experienced actors on set, and she gave Rizzo a world-weary wisdom that made "There Are Worse Things I Could Do" one of the film's most powerful moments. Unlike some of her co-stars, Channing's career wasn't defined by Grease. Instead, she built a formidable and highly respected career on both stage and screen. She won a Tony Award in 1985 and earned a Best Actress Oscar nomination for 1993's 6 Degrees of Separation. To a whole new generation, she became the sharp, politically savvy First Lady Abby Bartlett on the hit TV series The West Wing, a role that won her an Emmy. Her story isn't about clinging to past glory. It's about a dedicated artist who used a star-making role as a springboard to a long and distinguished career, earning her place as one of the most respected actresses of her generation. Next, we have the heart of the Pink Ladies, the bubbly beauty school dropout, Frenchie. Didi Conn brought such a sweet and quirky energy to the role, from her pink hair to her disastrous attempt at piercing Sandy's ears. Of all the cast members, Didi Conn has remained the most joyfully connected to the world of Grease. She reprised her role in Grease 2 and made a poignant appearance in 2016's Grease Live. Over the years, she has been a fixture at fan conventions, embracing her role as the unofficial ambassador of Rydell High. But Didi Conn's most impactful story is away from the cameras. She became a passionate advocate for autism awareness after her son Daniel was diagnosed. Didi devoted herself to finding the best resources for him and used her celebrity to raise awareness and fight the stigma associated with the condition. For years, Didi Conn has been celebrated not just as the eternally cheerful Frenchie, but as a tireless advocate who turned a personal challenge into a public mission of education. And who could forget the ever-hungry, fun-loving Jan, famous for her brusha routine? Jamie Donnelly was already a stage veteran when she was cast, having played Jan on Broadway before the film. After Grease, Jamie didn't chase the same level of stardom as some of her castmates. Instead, she built a long and steady career as a character actress, popping up in numerous films and TV shows like Can't Hardly Wait and Black Mass. Her journey is a classic example of a dedicated working actor in Hollywood. Later in her career, Donnelly also found a passion for teaching, becoming an acting coach to pass on her years of experience. Her surprising story is one of quiet persistence and a deep love for the craft of acting, both as a performer and a mentor. Finally, there was the sophisticated Marty Maraschino, who dreamed of her military pen pal. Dinah Manoff played the role with a knowing glamour that made her stand out. Like Stockard Channing, Manoff went on to achieve serious critical acclaim. In 1980, she won a Tony Award for her role in Neil Simon's play I Ought to Be in Pictures. She also had a memorable role in the Oscar-winning film Ordinary People and became a familiar face on the sitcom Empty Nest. But in the late 90s, Dinah Manoff made a surprising pivot. She stepped back from the spotlight to focus on her family and a new passion, writing. She moved to Washington State, raising her 3 sons away from industry pressures. This allowed her to develop her skills as an author, and in 2021, she published her first novel, The Real True Hollywood Story of Jackie Gold. Her story is a powerful example of someone who achieved great success and then bravely chose a different path,
defining life on her own terms, far from the Tinseltown hustle. They were the leather-clad, wisecracking T-Birds, the coolest gang at Rydell High. While Danny was their leader, the rest of the gang was filled with memorable characters, whose actors went on to live inspiring, unexpected, and, in one case, deeply tragic lives. Let's start with Danny's right-hand man, the car-loving Kanicki, played by Jeff Conaway. As the owner of Grease Lightning and Rizzo's fiery love interest, Conaway's performance was full of attitude. After Grease, Conaway quickly landed another iconic role as Bobby Wheeler on the hit sitcom Taxi, which should have guaranteed a long career. But his life took a dark and difficult turn. Conaway waged a very public, decades-long battle with addiction to alcohol and painkillers, which he said began after an injury he sustained on the Grease set. His struggles were painfully documented on the reality show Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, exposing his declining health to a national audience.
Tragically, on May 27, 2011, Jeff Conaway died at the age of 60 from complications of a major internal infection. His legacy is complicated. He's remembered for the undeniable talent he showed as Kanicki and on Taxi. But his life also serves as a heartbreaking cautionary tale about the devastating toll of addiction. From the tragic to the triumphant, let's move to the T-Bird who was all about having fun. Duty, played by Barry Pearl. With his guitar and his earnest performance of Those Magic Changes, Duty was the lovable heart of the group. Barry Pearl's career after Grease is a story of a lifelong, dedicated performer. He never stopped working, building a long resume in TV, film, and especially theater. Like Didi Khan, he remained closely connected to the Grease legacy, even appearing in Grease Live. He continues to be a cherished presence at fan conventions, sharing his joy and memories with new generations of fans. His journey is a testament to a career built on a consistent passion for performing. Next up is the Joker of the group, the wisecracking Sonny Lettieri, played by Michael Tucci. Sonny was the wannabe tough guy who was always ready with a sarcastic comment. After Grease, Michael Tucci continued acting in shows like It's Gary Shandling's Show and Diagnosis Murder. But his most surprising career pivot came when he stepped away from the camera and into the classroom. Tucci became a high school theater arts teacher at St. Francis High School in California for 15 years. After a successful Hollywood career, he dedicated himself to inspiring young performers. His story is one of incredible redirection, showing that success can be redefined by trading Hollywood sound stages for a high school auditorium. And what about the youngest T-Bird, the sweet and slightly naive Putzie, played by Kelly Ward? Kelly Ward's story might be the most shocking career pivot of them all. After a few more acting roles, he moved from in front of the camera to behind it, in a completely different field. Kelly Ward became a highly successful voice director for television animation, especially for Disney. For decades, he has been the guiding voice behind beloved shows like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Jake and the Neverland Pirates. While his face isn't recognizable to millions of kids, his work has been a huge part of their childhoods. In addition to his prolific directing career, Ward has also passed on his knowledge as a musical theater professor. He traded the greaser jacket for a director's chair and has had a profound, if largely unseen, impact on pop culture. While the T-Birds and Pink Ladies were the stars, Rydell High was filled with other unforgettable characters. Sadly, over the decades, we've had to say goodbye to several of these performers. First, we remember Susan Buckner, who played the impossibly peppy cheerleader, Patty Simcox. After Grease, Buckner stepped away from acting to raise her family, later directing children's theater and teaching dance. Susan Buckner passed away on May 2, 2024, at the age of 72. We also pay tribute to Annette Charles, who sizzled on screen as Cha-Cha Di Gregorio, the best dancer at St. Bernadette's. Her dance-off with Danny was electric. After her memorable role, Charles earned a master's degree and became a speech professor at California State University, Northridge. Annette Charles died from cancer in August 2011 at the age of 63. And finally, we can't forget the leader of the rival gang, the Scorpions, Leo Craterface Balmuto. Played by Dennis Stewart, he was the sneering antagonist who faced off against the T-Birds. Tragically, his life was cut short. Dennis Stewart was diagnosed with HIV in 1993 and passed away from complications of AIDS in 1994 at just 46 years old.
From global superstardom and critical acclaim to quiet retirements and heartbreaking tragedies, the real-life stories of the Grease cast are as complex as any Hollywood script. They're a reminder that even for those immortalized on film, life goes on, with all its unexpected twists and turns. The movie captured a perfect moment in time, but the people who created it went on to live full, surprising, and profoundly human lives. Grease is, and always will be, the word, but the stories of the people who brought it to life are what truly tell the tale of what happens after the screen fades to black. Which Grease star's story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy taking a deeper look at your favorite films, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.